to win it.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And the Reds go marching on, sir. 3 points in a huge Manchester derby. Are you not entertained?
Woo, sir. How we doing? How we doing? I certainly am. Down and out. We never down and out under this manager. These boys. Whew. City trying to stifle us to death, trying to suffocate us with that passing. They had all the ball, and United, after they conceded to Jack Grealish, the odds were against us, but they fought back. 2 great goals. Garnacho came on, changed the game in many ways. Rashford with a goal, Bruno with a goal, defensively sound. The manager made the right switches. And City, what I love about City, sir, is like if they lose and it's not going their way, like they got one thing to do, and it's all they do is whinge. And it's like, that was good to see. As soon as they are in a position where even they're tied, let alone losing, they just they have nothing but diving for penalties and complaining to the referee, and you love to see it. Huge win for Manchester United. We are 6 points out from Arsenal. If they lose tomorrow against Spurs, how are we feeling? Honestly, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Bloody hell, football.
I mean, buzzing. 4:30 a.m. wake-up call for you boys on the West Coast. It's torrential downpour outside. We're waking up the wife way too early, sir. I'm on borrowed time out here in the doghouse. Either way, what a win. It feels like we can dream again at the Theater of Dreams. For real this time. I felt like it was always a false dawn, but this one, the crazy Dutchman putting his stamp on this team this whole season, the journey we've been through, him kicking Ronaldo out the door, and even as a Ronaldo Muppet, that's tough to see, but this is his team. This is his squad. He's gotten a hold of it, and they're starting to play like a team. And that's why when you look at the roster, you see Luke Shaw center back, you see Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back, you see this young kid Malacia, Fred in the middle of the park, and we're going to play like that against the Titans of Man City with more depth than you could even imagine. There's no weakness in that team, but we had more fight. And that is what that badge represents to me on the front of the shirt, sir. And when I can see that badge and I see us winning big in that way at home, it feels like we can dream again. It's probably not our year. You want to go full Muppet and say we're in a title race. You want to say we can do it. I'm just saying I feel like we can dream again. We got someone on the touchline who's the real deal. We have players on the pitch that are the real deal. It's going to take time. And, oh, by the way, the Glazers are going to get gone because we'll give you the news on the sale as well. So a huge time to be a Manchester United fan. Hope, dare I say it, we can dream again at the Theater of Dreams.
Well said, sir. When it rains, it pours. We're seeing that in California based on having 3 weeks of rain. And Manchester United, maybe the fortune has finally turned and things are coming up roses because – you said it. We have a manager, Erik ten Hag. He knows what he's doing. He needs to be given time and resources and just the right level of space to build this squad the way he sees fit. Title race, I'm just talking about the points. You're right. It's like a squad's too thin. We don't even have a fit striker at the moment. Martial went down. I think that was because of an injury with his halftime sub to Anthony. Obviously, Wout's coming in. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if we had real owners and weren't in the middle of a sale process, this is when you'd be pouring on the gas and trying to bring in a couple extra players because we should be winning a piece of silverware this year. EFL Cup, much better chance after City dropped out, lose 2 games in a week. And this is a statement win. It's like, I think we outplayed them other than the first 20 minutes of the second half. And we never gave up. And the manager, once again,
first half was pretty even, I think.
We had the better chances. They didn't have a single shot on target.
Chances. It wasn't, it was.
We were sloppy on the ball in possession.
It should have been 0-0. 0-0 was the right result for the first half.
It could have easily been a draw this game. But that being said,
some controversy. You got to say that goal that Bruno scored. Rash was offside. Did he touch it? Looked like from one camera angle he did touch it. VAR, don't know what they're doing. Maybe they checked it in the ear of the ref. City, they probably are right to feel hard done by, but I mean, they're right to they're hard done by on the loss. They did give up the draw, but you're right. It's just baby bitch. And Garnacho,
Woof.
what a player. We bring in Anthony, try to make the difference. Who makes the difference? Garnacho. Spins his man, gets the ball into Marcus Rashford. What a finish. What a goal. Watching a youngster like him come into true top form is incredible. And having just that one player come off the bench to add a dynamic that we need in this team in a game is huge. Now, imagine if we had like 5 of those players. We do not. Manchester United of old always had that. Right now, we're struggling for some depth on this team. So we shall see how we hold up. We're not even halfway through the season, so let's just kind of temper down those expectations. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is very much a marathon, especially with all these games coming up thick and fast. Or why would they do a 2-legged semifinal for the EFL Carabao Cup? I know it's probably money, but at the end of the day, we have so many matches coming, and even more so because we're still in 4 cup competitions. Right, we got a game on Wednesday because the Queen's passing. That Palace game got moved, and it's going to be about squad management. It's going to be about injuries, which to date haven't caught up to us, but they're starting to. Right, Donny, not that he was contributing much, out for the season. Martial, Rashford looked hurt in this game. He looked like he pulled his hip at the end of the first half and just like muscled through it and was a difference maker. Right, scored that goal. Great positioning and movement for him to just be there, and then obviously Garnacho does a lot with that great ball in. And it's a huge win for Manchester United. The center backs played lights out, right? Shaw was terrific once again. Varane was amazing. He was clearing balls off the line. Casemiro, we can't say enough about how good of a player he is. Just world-class CDM. He grew into the match. He didn't start as good as he has been in some games, but he finished so unbelievably strong. Malacia played really well. AWB played well. Bruno started slow and then finished strong. So I love this team, baby. Let's go. Building something slow and steady. There's so much exciting things happening in Manchester United. And the idea that we could have a really good manager with some players that can make it long term and that we also might get rid of the Glazers in the next 6 months. Sir, am I dreaming? Am I dream world?
You're dreaming. Quick PSA for the podcast. You like the America Red Devils, you want to support independent fan content, please check out our Patreon page. We don't have any ads on the pod. We're trying not to waste your time. It's all about Manchester United. That's why we want to do the for fans, by fans, direct support, because we think it's the way to go in 2023. Check out our Patreon page. Like I said, patreon.com/America Red Devils. A few different tiers. We do a behind-the-scenes episode every single month. And again, the best way to support independent fan content. Also, check out our store, AmericaRedDevils.store. Hoodies, scarves, our amazing 65th anniversary Munich air disaster scarf Alex is wearing this morning. Please check that out. That is coming up in February. Also, we have Glazers Out scarves. Get them while they're hot. And check out our website as well, AmericaDevils.com. Great blog content. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of the America Devils podcast. It does a lot of good. It goes a long way, helps us get found organically by other fans like yourself, and even better, we're giving away free merch, and we're giving away not any free merch, we're giving away free Glazers Out scarves if you write a 5-star review and send a screenshot. I'll tell you how to do it. Write that review, 5 stars, make it cheeky, even better, and send a screenshot to AmericaRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address. And like I said, I will send a free Glazer Out scarf as long as we got them straight to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great one, 5 stars from Ren23, top tier podcast with insight into the squad and each match. These two are natural hosts and make it seem like you're having a conversation with your buddies about the latest match. Easily the best podcast I found on United. Thank you so much for the 5-star review. So these are these 5-star Reds, down but not out. What a game, what a win. I can't believe I'm still pinching myself, especially didn't think it would end this way, but you know what? Football, bloody hell. We definitely got some luck on the VAR call, no doubt about it. If that went against us the other way, we'd felt hard done, but that's football. And you know what? FA don't get all of them right. You know, it's not apples to apples. It's like they get calls right in some games, wrong in some games. And you know what? We got the breaks went our way, today. So nothing wrong with that.
Really appreciate the review there, and it's a natural conversation. You know it because I'm getting Alex all fired up about Wout coming to Manchester United. Last podcast, he was like in so defensive. Even this morning, he's arguing about Wout. Look, he's officially a United player, so I can't clap him anymore. Yeah. So I'm just gonna lay down my arms and cheer him on. But like
this guy's never clapped a Manchester United player. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. All I gotta say is that number 7, really, like you said,
did they give him number 7?
I think so. Yeah, you didn't see that. I was going to text you that. Wout number 7 at Manchester United. Check me on that if I'm absolutely wrong. But there is so much. false information on social media. Somebody could have doctored that one. Let's get into it, sir. Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1. What a feeling. Manchester is red. We've never doubted that. But to have them come into our house and dispatch them in this fashion after they clapped us 6-3 earlier this year, what a feeling. Old Trafford. Let's get into that lineup. Dave says world number 1 in net. Malacia at left back, Shaw, Varane, center back pairing, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Fred, Casemiro, Eriksen midfield with Rashford on the left, Martial at number 9, and Bruno on the right wing. Sir, what'd you feel about that lineup?
On the Wout, there's no confirmation on his number yet, but if it was number 7, that would be cheeky. I didn't call 11 that dissimilar from this one. I thought he would put Fred in, and that actually was a good move because Fred also grew into the game. And then go for the 2-striker. Bruno out wide. I think that's probably why he wasn't as effective early in the game because obviously he's playing out of position and they were all over us. But, the only surprise was that there was no Martinez. I thought he would have come in. But to be fair, Shaw continued to excel at center back. Malacia playing very well. There you go. Number 7. I can't believe it. So you're right. I didn't see it. That's a shocker. But
shocker.
This 11 wasn't too shocking.
Sir, this isn't a Woot podcast where it's quickly becoming a Woot podcast.
We just signed a striker. He'll be we're going to get his name wrong. I'll tell you what, we're not good at pronouncing Dutch players' names.
I'm getting you the Weghorst 7, for your birthday here.
He's not scoring any goals.
In 10 years, that'll be an absolute legend of a kit, the Weghorst 7. People will be like, that's how deep you go, the Weghorst 7.
What do you think is we're going off topic. Anyway, we've been up since 4 a.m., so apologies in advance. What do you think this 11 when you saw it, sir? 7.
I felt like we were cramming for the test here. I said on the last pod, I said, we're not healthy enough. Martinez isn't in, so Shaw comes in. Then you got to play Malacia at left back. That's the type of team we are. I see what he's trying to do with Fred in the middle of the park, but, you got to move Bruno out wide. Bruno on the wing, that's not really where he should be playing. So I kind of feel like we're making the best of what we got right now. You also include Martial up top, not really doing a lot. His hold-up play, decent. But at the end of the day, not threatening on the counter and behind Man City. So I kind of felt like Ten Hag, we lost big, let up a lot of goals. He wasn't going to do that at home. I like the midfield 3 to try to stop City. And, the first half we came out well. I thought we were pressing high. We were winning the ball back. 11th minute, Eriksen finds Bruno, takes a shot at a difficult angle, goes just wide. This one was always going wide, but it was a good sign for Manchester United in the 11th minute. I thought we were really able to match City and win the ball back high, get some opportunities. But obviously you can do that for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then they kind of settle in the game. City like to do that, kill the possession game, and they passed the ball quite a bit today on our pitch. 24th minute, Casemiro with a great block on Haaland. He actually went pretty quiet this game. We'll talk about that. 34th minute, Bruno finds Rashi with a great pass. He goes past the keeper, but his shot's cleared off the line. He had Martial as well. Tough touch here from Rashford. He's been in great form, so you can't even begin to try to slate the man. First half, City didn't play that well, didn't create too much. I kind of felt like it was back and forth. 0-0 seemed right to me.
No, a 0-0 seemed right. And honestly, if you were to say as a neutral, what would be a fair result? A draw would have been a fair result today. I think we squeaked it out in that first one. But in the first half, I think we edged it slightly. They had all the ball. They just kind of that suffocating play. They just keep onto it and ping it around, like you were saying, tiki-taka, like old Barcelona of back in the day. But United were in the match, which you'd love to see. I thought like when we got the ball, we had a little bit of a hard time passing through their press. And at the same time, we were a little scratchy with it, gave it away cheaply. But very much in the game heading into the second half, sir.
I mean, the highlight was Rashford going down.
He looked injured.
Yeah, Rashford looked injured after this 34th minute chance. He, just didn't come off for him. He goes down, and it's kind of like, well, there you go. I kind of thought there's the season.
Yep.
There's top 4. There's it all right there, lying on the pitch, and we got to hope Marcus Rashford is healthy. But that was the biggest highlight for me. Second half, we came out, did not look good. City got way too much time on the ball, tons of space. They were coming. I tweeted, Ben, don't break stuff. Obviously, we had Anthony come in for Tony, trying to change the game up a little bit. Bruno coming in at false 9. 52nd minute, good chance for Varane from a free kick, but he's offsides. He was off all the way by a mile. 54th minute, City break. and Varane clears, and then it was
coming.
I tweeted it was like bend don't break. I mean we had nothing. They were coming at us. 60th minute here.
Where players throw themselves to the ground like that.
Morris, De Bruyne, Grealish! The point of sparkling City difference. Bounces off the bench and scores for the champions at Old Trafford.
Side note, where are all the Arlo White fans? I mean, Peter Drury is just amazing. He
Incredible.
is so much better than Arlo White by like a country mile, sir. Like, can't even.
I know, but you
begin
still have,
to talk about
the
it.
numpties. You still have Graham.
No,
and,
but like he is
Lee
so
Dixon.
good.
No,
like,
he's great.
He
He's
is just
great.
so like, and that's the thing. Is like I'm not just hating every announcer. There's good announcers. There's bad announcers. Peter Drury, just
He's
even announcing
world-class.
like bounces off the bench. Like what a. I mean, we're gonna get to some really great.
Talk about
calls
the
from him as
goal.
well.
This was coming, sir. They were like, we were giving them way too much space on the ball. They kept making these kind of diagonal runs, cross pass balls, and Varane made a couple big clearances. Obviously, this one, AWB, a little bit caught in space. He's covering two players at once, and that's just how good. I mean, City, that's the kind of goals they score, right? It's just like knock-ins, passing in the back of the net. But this woke United up. I feel like after this, it was like United got their feet underneath them.
It's one of those things with Manchester United. We came out sleepwalking in the second half, and just took a little spark here.
Big sub. Garnacho came on for Eriksson, and that was an astute call, sir. That opened things up.
And who deserves credit for that?
Erik ten Hag.
All right, 78th minute here.
Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Rashford's onside here, and Fernandes scores at the Stretford end, and the flag goes up to defy him. He disputes it wildly.
Well, Rashford made the run. I think it was him that was offside. That's why they're remonstrating with Darren Cann, the assistant on that far side. Didn't touch the ball though. Marcus Rashford. Lovely play by Wan-Bissaka. There goes Rashford. He is offside.
And he never has a touch of it. Fernandes may have a point here.
And the good thing is nowadays, the upside of VAR is we get to clear these incidents up. Gives the officials an opportunity to have that security of a relook.
Goal! And a really good one from Bruno Fernandes. Smartly dispatched as Rashford critically kept his distance.
What a player. What a goal. A little controversy there. We were all nervy. VAR, no VAR. Bruno, did Rashford touch it? It's a goal, City. I'm going to drink up those tears. Lap them up, sir. I love to see City dying. And in controversial fashion, just adds a little bit.
It does. It's just the nature of the game. There's always going to be controversial calls. Sometimes they go your way. Sometimes they don't. But the big thing is, like, shout out to a number of players that are integral in this goal. AWV had a great pass to Casemiro. Obviously, Casemiro just lights out. Does very well to find Rashford in the first place. He knows he's off, doesn't touch it. And then Bruno, I didn't realize how good of a finish it was because I was just I thought we were offside. I thought I was in goal, but it was an unbelievable finish from Bruno Fernandes. Like you said, had a quiet game up into this. And then as soon as United kicked it into third or fourth gear, he was involved in all of it. So great goal. Let's go. At that point, I was like, it's on like fucking Donkey Kong, baby.
All right, the Argentinian mini Messi, the man on the left wing, Garnacho.
Casemiro, Fernandes, hacked clear by Malacia, down again by Akanji. Here's Fred, it's suddenly frenetic. It's Fernandes, it's Garnacho. And Rashford waits, and Anthony waits. and Garnacho will get another go, and he'll twist away from Ake, and Rashford scores! The Reds, twice in a trice! It is an Old Trafford tumult! Derby Day is on its head! Now that Eric score, they always score.
Manchester United always score, sir. Oh, great goal. We go up 2-1. The shots of the sad, shitty fans. There's nothing better than those guys just like sitting there. They thought they had it wrapped up. Came across the city. Garnacho checks his run, gets wide, crosses it, gets the ball, and then with his left boot delivers a inch-perfect cross to Marcus Rashford, who nutmegs Ederson, the neck tattoo goalie for Pep's side. And man, watching City whinge and cry and dive all around this pitch, wearing that baby bitch blue. That's the difference. Manchester is red. Rashford is red. What a day. What a morning.
What a derby. You know, eras come to an end, sir. And we got a long way to go, but it was just a huge win. Great performance all around. Unbelievable ball from Bruno Fernandes. Like looking the other way, finds Garnacho. Garnacho has so much to do. Gets another nick at it after it kind of deflects the first time, puts in a perfect ball. But at the same time, Marcus is doing so well there. This kind of killer instinct, number 9, making that run, and then the finish. So a lot to do, and it's a great goal. And then United just hanging on, and look how much it means to this fucking manager. He's fired
He
up.
looks like an idiot. He I'll tell you, Eric Ten Hag, his celebrations are, that's a.
He looks like a fan.
It's hard to look. It's hard to look at.
It's all right. I tell you what, that result ain't hard to look at. Big win. I don't even know.
I know.
How
You know what I
NBC
mean.
Sports is swallowing that pill. I'm sure they are talking about the VAR call all day. I can only imagine. But all that matters is 3 points. 3 points. 3 points.
No, but that's who Eric Ten Hag is. He owns it. He's kind of this awkward Dutch turtleneck wearing Dutch guy. Kind of obviously
obsessed about winning.
His English is good, but I'm sure with the player he's like really cold, kind of awkward. He's kind of like LVG but more serious. LVG was kind of like not so serious. So he's got this kind of mystery man vibe, but his celebration on the touchline is just absolutely a riot. Just what a game, what a day. 92nd minute, nervy here, 5 minutes extra time. Triple sub, Magoo, McTominay, Martinez for Rashford, Casemiro, and Malacia. And that was it. Manchester United, 3 points. I said 4 points from these 3 games would be huge.
Sorry. I didn't mean to
I said 1 point from these 2.
2, yeah, you're right.
4 from these 3. We're already at 3. I'm getting greedy. We need at least 6. So we got to be dispatching Crystal Palace. Let's look at the stat sheet. 4 shots on target to United, 1 for City, 8 shots total for United, 5 for City, 71% of the ball for Manchester City at Old Trafford.
71%. They had so much of the ball.
Insane. 723 passes to our 309, but it don't matter none because we won the day. Marcus Rashford, 27 goals of his 67 have been the winning goal of the game, the highest percentage of any player with 50-plus goals in the competition, which is insane. And Garnacho, 18 years, 197 days, is the youngest player to assist a goal in a Manchester derby. And Marcus Rashford is the first Manchester United player to score in 7 consecutive appearances in all competitions since Cristiano Ronaldo in April 2008. That was a special year for Ronaldo, special year for Marcus Rashford. But what do we know? Let's check in with the mad Dutchman, the manager of Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag.
Big result. You must be delighted, not just with the result, but with the manner how you fought back.
I think with the performance as well. I think first half we play very well. And we defend very well. We were proactive. We break good opportunities we create in the breaks. So I was really happy in halftime with that. We should have 1-0 up, but it wasn't. And then after halftime, it changed. We had to sub Anthony Martial. He had some complaints, and then changes obviously the game. City came in the game. We were not that proactive anymore. And just before I want to change then they score, and you're running after facts. But then what you say, the spirit in the team is so huge. The belief is there that the game is 90 minutes and that they can fight back. They keep believing and they turn around. And so I'm really happy with that performance of the team.
Yes, Berber, away from the decision.
What a presser from Erik ten Hag there, sir. What do you make?
Not giving you much, and that's fine with me, sir.
But fighting back, that's kind of what he's talking about.
Well, you know what? You saw a lot of fight back, because if you were to go by the first half of the second half, you would say United are not getting back in this game. But they showed a lot of fight. He made the right sub. I'll tell you what, not that Eriksson played bad. He played a solid. He always plays solid. But Garnacho just adding that extra element, that edge, which was, we need someone to run at him, right? Other than Rashford, you need a player that's willing to run at defenders. Garnacho's got that. Sir, look at that form guy, baby. We're going to talk about the table in a second. But at the moment, best form in the EPL.
Would you say we got a top 10 clinicality?
I would say top 10, top 4 clinical. We're not there yet. Honestly, we should score way more goals to this side.
No, I'm talking clinicality. What would,
Who? Marcus or us?
Manchester United.
We're top 10 clinicality.
Top 10.
Guess where Villa are? They're 11th. Tied on points with Chelsea.
Not
they're
top
on their
10
way.
yet.
They're on their way.
Top 10
They're getting
Villa
very
side
close.
Still
They won
working.
yesterday. They're getting very
I'll
close.
tell you what. Arsenal are in first. Game in hand, 17 played, 44 points. Man City, 18 played, 39. Manchester United, 18 with 38, 1 point off the City Blues. Beating them at home at Old Trafford. What a day to be a United fan. What a morning. Newcastle behind us, 35. Tottenham behind them with 33. Fading fast. Hair plugs, Conte struggling.
I'll tell you what, we're all Spurs fans tomorrow. It's going to be, come on, you Spurs, playing the Gunners. I don't know where they're playing. I'll look that up in a second. But this is a huge match for us, sir. If the Gunners lose tomorrow, it's like, it's open season, baby.
Then Fulham. Then, that team that we don't like, the Scouse Bastards. We haven't even thought about them all season. They're in 7th with 28 points. 10-point lead on them. Look, we're one game away from being halfway through the season, and the way the table is shaping up is very, very interesting. The key is just concerned about the depth, just concerned about injuries. We have tons of games coming, so if Rashford picks up a knock, it's hard to rest him versus Crystal Palace. These are the issues, is that we don't have these big breaks. We're in every single competition. We're at FA Cup, EFL, Europa League. Hans and Franz coming back with the remix against Barcelona in February. So we got so many games. That is going to be what we're going to be fighting for, and seeing this manager manage these competitions, because like you said, 2 legs in the Carabao Cup semifinal. Why do they play 2, sir? Because they're an energy drink.
Yeah.
They're trying to show you that the energy drink,
wings.
you're tired, you just drink some of this, you'll be fine. You can play 2 matches. I think that's the theme.
I tell you what, you have to pay me a lot of money to drink a Carabao.
I'll give you one in May when we're in Manchester.
It's true, but I mean, you know what? Criticize the WAP move all you want, but he's going to be starting on Wednesday, and I think you need to be resting Marcus Rashford for the game against the Gunners a week from tomorrow. But you're right; it's all going to be about rotation, depth, and maintaining the team without having too many injuries, sir. Like if we lose if we have an injury at a big position, i.e., like Marcus or Bruno or Casemiro, or even a Varane, it's just going to be a lot more difficult. So
it's going to be that Wout first touch that's just going to, the ball's coming to his feet.
Is it better or worse than
Lukaku?
It's going to be
like
remember how bad
we'll
Lukaku's touch was? Like,
look, he scores against Palace. He's a Manchester United legend as far as I'm concerned. So
there you go.
Look,
you heard it here first.
He's I'm after this pod, this is the last pod that I can kind of laugh at him. Then I will be 100%.
I can't believe the game number 7.
I don't. It could be fake, but it's on Twitter. I don't think the club has announced it, but it's hard to tell these days where these accounts tweeting out everything, and like I don't have time to do diligence. It's like I saw it on there.
It's not on the internet.
I think it's a legit account. Now everyone's verified, so it's like a complete sideshow on Twitter. So like as far as the 7, I'm not gonna deposit that check in the bank just yet.
Woot, there it is. I think he's gonna score goals.
It's Woot. He's Woot until he scores a goal. At the very least, he's Woot till he scores a goal, and hopefully he can do so, and he can in his next match, sir. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United, Selhurst Park, South London's number 1, Wednesday, January 18th, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. The last game we went to was Manchester United versus Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, where Palace just beat us down. Ralph Rangnick's dead Reds. We were in the away stands just celebrating the results of other matches where basically the Scousmasters wouldn't win the league. That was like the most momentous end to that last day. But, that was a rough game to watch. I can't believe we're playing this well. So close to that game that we went to. Lifetime versus Crystal Palace, 39. We beat them up. Drawn 12, lost 10. We have their number. First time we played, 1922. We won 2-1 in the second division of English football. Last 5, like I said, we were there. 1-0 loss. 1-2, lost 2, drawn 1. Not a great record against Crystal Palace. They have been a little all over the place.
They got a good manager. Vieira's solid. They're playing good football. Dude, this is a trap game. Classic trap game.
They lost to Fulham. They beat Bournemouth. They lost to Tottenham 4-0. That should be the comp. They lost to Southampton, who's in a relegation fight. So they're kind of not in great form. Should be an easy game, but it is away. Like you said, eyes on Arsenal, probably a trap game. So we have to make sure the lads, we might need to get lucky here.
Totally, because he's going to have to rotate. He should give Rashford a blow. He obviously has to give Varane a blow. Shaw probably needs a blow. You want to rotate.
Shaw doesn't need a blow, but Varane and Rashford definitely.
Shaw doesn't need a blow. That's a good
Casemiro
point.
maybe.
Casemiro definitely needs a blow. This is a McFred. Wow. Try to get away with the one. Keep all the firepower on the bench the second half if you need it. Like you have Marcus on the bench, Casemiro on the bench, and then you bring them on if you need them. And I think you try to get away with one in this game because United are playing well. Palace are not. Obviously, you're going to play in away at night. Selhurst Park, midweek, been there, sir. Gets a little fired up. Have a couple dark ales, but trap game. We got to do our job. If we do our job, play well, I think we come away with the result. But if you just think about the weekend, you think about the 6 points, especially if Arsenal lose tomorrow, they're playing at Spurs, then you might be getting blinded by that title chase.
It ain't no title chase yet, for the record.
Wow, there it is. You don't think, wow, dude, Weghorst?
Like he scores like a lot of goals, and we beat Arsenal convincingly in their house. We're talking about it. If we beat City, Palace, and Arsenal, there's no way you're not talking about the title.
It'll be tight by then.
Obviously, but we're the bad news bears, right? If you look at our squad versus those teams right now, it's like you look at City and Arsenal, and they're just deep. They're just set up. They don't have it. Like you look at their starting 11, they're not playing like Malacia, Shaw. What we're getting away with right now, I just don't know how sustainable it is. So the idea is like, yeah, we're close, but I still think we're far away if you do the math on the remaining games we got in the league plus all the other comps. It's going to be very difficult. Little history on Crystal Palace. They have a shout at being founded as far back as 1861 when amateur Crystal Palace football team was established at the Crystal Palace Exhibition Building, which has led to claims by the club that Crystal Palace should be recognized as the oldest professional football club.
It's a stretch.
But it is not. So they have a shout for the oldest, but it is not. Both the amateur and professional clubs played inside the grounds of the Palace, with the professional club using the FA Cup final stadiums for its home games until 1915, when they were forced to leave due to the outbreak of the First World War. Regardless, they go back pretty far. In 1924, they moved to the current home, Selhurst Park. The club's kit colors were claret and blue until 1973, but they decided to change to red and blue vertical stripes that they've worn today. Palace have a long-standing rivalry with Brighton, whom they contest the M23 Derby. Also, you've watched Ted Lasso. All those scenes are filmed inside Selhurst Park, so it's kind of based loosely around Crystal Palace and their stadium, which I thought was interesting.
It's a classic Old English stadium. I mean, I think that's why Ted Lasso uses it, because it has like kind of that classic boxy architecture. It's still got the pillars. Like if you got a bad seat, you could be stuck behind a pillar, like that shitty stadium up in Boston that they play baseball at. But that being said, it's going to be a tough match. The fans are going to be in it. Like you said, Palace not in the best form, but they have a dangerous side. Well, for Zaha, Ayew, we know them. We know them well.
Decore, Schlupp, Ward. I mean, Nathan Klein as well. I mean, look, Vieira is going to coach him up pretty hard. Vieira, obviously, the history with him, Arsenal, Manchester United. If he's picking a game to try to spoil somebody's good time, it's going to be Manchester United. He does not like us very much. Looking at injuries, piling up a little bit here. Delo has the thigh injury. Sancho is working on his diet. Donny van de Beek is out for the rest of the season with his knee. Tuanzebe is not welcome around the training ground while Erik ten Hag is the manager. You know, a casualty of a new coach. A little bit of injuries here. What's your lineup, sir?
They're starting to add up, sir. I'm going to try to mix things up a little bit. I'm going to do De Gea net, back four of AWB, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw. I'm going to do McTominay, Bruno, Eriksson. I'm not going to play Rashford. I'm going to put Garnacho on the left, Wout up front, and Antony on the right. What you got? You got to start, bro. And the other guys need blows. You know, they need some rest.
I'm going to say AWB, Martinez, Shaw, Malacia with De Gea number 1 in net. I'm not going to put McTominay in there. I'm going to say it's going to be Bruno, Eriksson, Casemiro, Rashford, Wout, and you're going to have to see on the right wing Antony. I mean, we need these 3 points. Arguably, it's something that, you know, we can accomplish more than the Arsenal match. I'd rather go for this. And
That's a good point. These are much more winnable 3 points than the Arsenal game, of course. So.
Sir, what do the bookies got for the odds?
Not any shocker here. Palace are the underdogs, plus 330 for them to win. The draw at plus 270, and then United the favorites at minus 120. Given those the odds, sir, what is your score prediction?
Whew, I'm going to say 1-0. Squeaky clean time. 82nd minute, something like that.
Yeah, I like that. 1-0, like really close. 0-0 the whole match, kind of cagey. He's thinking about the Arsenal match. We're all thinking about the Arsenal match. We get the win. On to the Gunners, sir.
Let's get into the news. United in the news. Whistles go woo woo. Woo woo.
Woo, woo.
Woot.
You know what? I hope we're playing. You know, all I hope, sir, is that by the time we get together for the next podcast, we are literally opening up the pod with like, it's only in the morning. The whistles go woot woot.
At the end of the day, all I gotta say, me,
If he scores, we're playing that all the time.
me making fun of Woot and saying his name wrong and telling me ain't no good only guarantees he's gonna be good. So there's like some 3D chess I'm playing here on this pod, you know. If I wanted him to really be bad, I get Alex the Woot 7 kit.
Number 7.
So I'm not going. I'm
that.
like me saying he's gonna be bad. Traditionally, usually when we say that, he turns out to be pretty good. Although I'm waiting for the comments I made on Antony before he came to the club to come good on that. Still gonna wait there. Okay, he's a player. He's cheap. 2.6 million pounds. Everyone's hyped. He's tall. He wouldn't be playing for us if he wasn't Dutch. Again, you got to give credit to the manager to bring him in because he's Dutch. But at the end of the day, you know, is he really the best option for Manchester United right now? Is our front office asleep at the wheel? Should the manager be picking players like this? It's a body, okay, great. But you saw João Felix play for Chelsea. Looked really good. Obviously got the straight red. But you watched the tape. He's a real player. He's the player we should have signed. We're playing like we are right now. We could go for the title. That seems to me difference maker. I don't know if I'm going to say difference maker for a while.
Well, we will see. I mean, there's definitely a difference.
Or both.
Hold on a second. There's definitely. I agree. There's definitely like a chasm in quality, like João Felix versus a Wout Weghorst. Different type of player and also different caliber of player. But that being said, I don't think it's just because he's Dutch. I think it's because it was a cheap deal that we could get in that would fit his style of play.
It is because he's Dutch.
It's not just because he's Dutch. It's because there are like not that many players available for £2 million.
It's because he's Dutch.
Who else is available? You keep
have to
talking
be
about
Dutch
the fact
or
that
play
he's
for Ajax.
Who else is available
Right?
for loan right now as number 9?
If I was the director of football at Manchester United, I would have a list for you.
The director of
but
football
I'm not,
is
and that's not
Erik ten
confidential.
Hag because our director of football
you
is
got to be Dutch or you got to play for Ajax. I mean, that's clear.
He's available.
You
The
know,
whole point
or
was
the
he's
best
available,
midfielder in the
wanted to play
world.
for Manchester United. Obviously, like the big sticking point is he was so bad at Burnley. Like everyone, Burnley scored 2 goals in 20 games. I get it. Otherwise, he scored a goal every other game. That's like an Odieta Gallo type of production. So he's going to come in. He's a stopgap between now and the end of the season. How many goals has Martial contributed this year? Like his whole play has been good, but we need someone to just
Get fired up
finish,
about Wout.
Finish.
This guy,
Well,
like,
you think it's
big
just
Wout
because
guy.
it's Dutch? I don't think it's just because
Your
it's
new
Dutch.
nickname is gonna be Woot. You're like loving this guy. You don't even.
I'm
you
just,
never seen him play.
I'm just.
Have you watched
I'm
the
arguing
tape?
against your tape. Yes,
Have
I
you
know.
watched the tape?
He's in the box.
Have you watched the
slamming
tape?
it in? Yes, I have. I watched the tape.
You watched this.
I watched all his
You watched
goals
this
at
film.
Wolfsburg.
Okay.
He ain't a world. He ain't RVP, bro. He's a Dutch. He'll score
Alex,
goals.
your homework was to watch all of his matches for Burnley and
Oh,
report
yeah,
back.
don't watch those games.
Watch him getting
It
relegated.
was a very bad
him and
Burnley.
Burnley getting
It was a very
relegated.
bad
Yes,
Burnley
exactly.
side, to be
Yeah, he
fair.
like helped Burnley go down.
Helped. I love
Did
that.
not
Helped them.
score like 20 games. Started 17, 2 goals in the league. That was literally last season. Burnley relegated. Like that is the dude. But regardless of the fact,
Over
that
under
is-
2 goals.
That is hanging
he's
over
coming
his
in for
head.
6 months. Over under 2 goals. I love putting you on the spot.
I'm gonna say, as a Muppet, I'm gonna say over. But take a step back. Got nothing against him.
I can't wait. I hope this is like me bagging on fucking Cavani before he came and had a great first season.
Alex
I want to go back
Alex had a
to the
bad-
tape.
I'm
I
not
hope we're
quite
opening
that
the
bad.
pod after he scores a hat trick. Yeah, right.
No, I'm not that quite that bad because like I came over, I was like, "Sir, are you all right?" And he was in a bad mood for like a day, like because we signed Cavani. He was that upset about it. I don't think I'm that mad. I'm just saying he can do a job for Manchester United, but it's not like he's the only guy you get. If you don't have a number 9 and Martial is your guy, and oh by the way, he could be injured again and he can't stay healthy, you don't put it all on Wout. He'd be a great, like if you got Felix and him, it'd be a great I'd be super excited about that. You play him against the low block, hoofball, or you bring him on when you're getting desperate in a type of situation. I think he could change the game in a different way. But when you're looking for that starter that's going to spur you on to try to compete for maybe a title for silverware, that's João Felix, in my opinion. That's the ingredient you add to this soup because you put him on the right, he's dynamite. You put him down the middle, he's out. Like he played amazing for Chelsea, and that type of instant injection of pace and trickery and everything is exactly what we need for the 6 months. And then you got the Wout on the bench to switch it up. I
You
just
need
think you
both.
need a little more than just him. I think we're being sold just him because the Glazers suck. This is not a Wout sucks. This is a Glazers suck commentary here at the end of the day. And I'm not going to try to shine up what they're selling us. I'm going to say this guy can do a job in a team, but he's not like the guy to trot out like week in, week out, which he might be because Martial could go down hurt.
Oh, that's very well said, sir. Enjoy your Strupen waffle. He's our Strupen waffle. We're taking it. Big old cookie. I totally agree with you. You should get both players, but at the end of the day, we are inhibited a little bit by the fact that United is obviously going through a sale process. We're broke because João Felix would much
We're
rather
not
join
broke.
him.
The Glazers don't care.
They are broke. I mean, technically, the PLC,
You could
Manchester
you can
United
afford
as an
João
entity
Felix.
is broke.
You could afford,
Of course, but they
because
don't
you got
wanna put
rid
any
of
more money
Ronaldo.
in.
You got rid
No,
of
you
Ronaldo's
could've.
wages.
You
You can
could've
afford
gotten
João
both.
Felix.
You could have gotten both.
Exactly. So you could do both.
They went
And
the
that's
cheap
all
route.
I'm trying to
They
highlight.
went
is
the
like,
cheap route, sir. Of course.
we can do better. Remember Manchester United? We used to like sign the players like RVP to win. Like these are the times that like
Yeah, you
we
got
need
to
to be signing to win. We need to be signing to get top 4. We need to be signing to cement like the $100 million for next season, the Champions League, angelic voices. I mean, no offense to Hans and Franz, but come on, man. Like Manchester United, we just don't have ambition under the Glazers. It's just like get away with cheap shit. That's like all we seem to be doing. And unfortunately, the next bit of news here: Donny Van de Beek out for the season with the knee injury. It looked pretty bad. It was bad. He finally got his Dutch manager that would play him despite him being in horrible form for United and Everton, and the Dutch manager comes in to play the Dutchman, and he didn't really play that well, but then just got his knee did. But at the end of the day, never rooted against a player, but I don't know if this is really a loss for United.
And I think his body would have been helpful just like as a body. You know, we need bodies, and sometimes he offers a little bit different from what McFred does. So it's a shame. I thought he had was finally showing a little bit of promise in the game that he actually got injured, but this is going to set him back. He's going to be one of those transfers probably that never works out. Unfortunate, but I think the more important news is what does United do to shore up the midfield with the fact that we have how many games we can have between now and the end of the season? 30, 40, so many games coming. Incredible amount. 30 probably.
You got to be able to get something out of Scotty McTominay. This manager has to, because he's played well for United in the past. The fact he can't come in and do a really good job is it's a sign of the times that he'd be picking Donnie over McTominay, who's done it for United, done it at the top level.
But
And
inconsistent,
Donnie
right?
hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
McTominay is way better and been way better for United than Donnie. They're both the same player. The height, everything. Maybe Donnie a little more threatening going forward, but again, this one I felt like he should have been shipped, keeping him this season. I like, when are we gonna get rid of the dead wood, right? AWB, I understand not selling, but like Donnie is a player you got to sell. And what are we gonna get for him now? Nothing.
Well, we still got, dude. We're not good at clearing out dead wood because we've given huge contracts to players. Who else is on our fucking book still? We still got like Twanzebe sticking around. We'll finally get rid of Phil Jones this year. Henderson, like, he ain't got to roll this club. Like, get him. Like, they should have sold Dino. It's like they don't know what they're doing because they can't ship the dead wood. So hopefully the new regime puts people in place who are competent, know how to run a club, have long-term thinking. Sir,
Joao
speaking of
Felix
long-term
will look
thinking,
good in red.
He
would
would
have
have. He didn't want to
red.
join Chelsea, bro. Come on, Chelsea project. They're like flailing like United under Ed Woodward.
Next bit of news. There's not a lot of news in this. Honestly, it came out about the stadium, but like the Glazers are selling the club, so whoever buys it will do whatever they want with the stadium. This plan that's being presented.
Well, they
is
priced
just
it. The whole
nothing.
point I wanted to say was like, how much does it actually cost to build a new stadium or renovate the stadium? And those are the numbers: $1 billion, $2 billion. The other news that didn't make it, because I was almost sounded dubious, was that they've set a deadline for firm bids as part of the sale process under the Glazers. So I'm sure you saw that. Is that like them posturing, or is that real deal stuff, you think?
No, I think it's sort of you go out on the, obviously when you're selling an asset like this, Avram's in the UAE pitching people, telling them about it, telling them what's so good about United. He's going to show everyone and their mother about Manchester United, right? And then they're going to say, all right, if you want to buy it, you got to submit a firm bid. LOI comes in. Yeah. They said February, I think, was the timing. They're looking to finish the sale by Q1. You can't finish the sale by Q1, but you have the merger agreement. And then that takes like from there 6 to 9 months to close, right? Because you have to do all the diligence, working capital adjustments, etc. Then you close the deal. So it's kind of like Twitter. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, it's like, hey, I'm buying Twitter. They have an agreement, and then he did that whole like hem and hawing throughout the merger agreement until it ended up closing. So similar situation for United, but the kind of shit or get off the pot moment is when bids are due, which sounds like February, which is great to hear that actually people are going to be bidding for United, UAE, Asia, US. Everyone's saying, obviously, like all these Twitter accounts, all these Muppets are saying, oh, bid is coming, it's imminent. No, it's not announced. They're going to get all the bids. They're going to select one. Then they're going to negotiate the agreement. Then it will be announced. So it's going to take some time for this to unfold. Everyone's saying UAE. Nobody knows. Nobody knows until the bids are in, right? Not even Manchester United knows. Not even the bank that advises Manchester United knows. It's all BS until they put pen to paper on how much money they want to pay for this thing.
There you go. Heading in the right direction. Positive indications. But like you said, this is not even like a transfer, where you're going to have rumors because the agents are going to leak it. No one's going to be leaking this unless it's like that random guy who tried to buy the club in '89 that like got his name in the papers again over the last 6 to 12 months. It's a totally different process. It's a delicate process. You're buying a public company, and it's a huge amount of money. So it's exciting that it's headed in the right direction.
I mean, this is the biggest news of the year.
It is.
I mean, as Manchester United
the last
fans,
10
like,
years, sir.
By the way, no one who's gonna be on the list buying this club ain't gonna like build a new stadium and not gonna invest $1 billion in the team. And by the way, the team is like getting there.
Yep.
And this manager is auditioning for that $500 million check to get some more All-Stars in here and go start winning titles again. So the mood is going to shift under a new owner. Like whoever buys this thing is going to be willing to win ASAP.
And spend.
It's going to be really interesting to see the list. I'm more worried about the human rights side of things just because however much the Glazers sucks, they're just greedy capitalistic pigs. I just don't want to have to be playing that game like Newcastle is right now, denying reality. It's a weird thing to do. I think you're kind of a hypocrite if you do that and don't say like, well, like it's an excuse to just ignore it all. Like Eddie Howe says, well, I don't read anything in the papers. I'm not aware of anything in the world, so I can't comment. That's not who we are. That is not what this podcast is about. But back to the stadium, sir. What would you do? Would you renovate Old Trafford? Would you rebuild Old Trafford? How would you handle this? Obviously, if you renovate it, you got to play somewhere else. If you knock it down and rebuild it, you got to play somewhere else. Probably multiple seasons. You probably got to play at the empty had as season ticket holders. This will affect us. It'll be interesting to see what they do, what solutions they have.
At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the budget to a certain degree. Like, if you look at the footprint of Old Trafford, it's kind of an awkward space because you have the rail line butted up to one side of it. You have the river there. So there's not a ton of space to build elsewhere. I guess they could build
the parking lot.
I know they're saying the parking lot. For me, I would go studs to the ground and rebuild it from where it is. Like, I would do the same location, but basically tear down Old Trafford and do like a Yankee Stadium equivalent, like a modern version of an older looking stadium. It should still have I would do a modernized looking Old Trafford. So like that kind of quintessential architecture that you've grown to love, we've all grown to love about OT. I would just do that in a better way and make everything about it better. Because at the end of the day, I love this club so much and I love everything about it. But the stadium, it has been neglected for 20 years and it looks it. It's like I've never gone more than I've
you
got
to tear it down.
You have to tear it down. You tear it down because at the end of the day,
it's weird. It's such a weird. You can tell it's just been built on and built on and built on and built on for so long because you look at it and you're like, where's some sort of atrium for you to go? You would imagine you walk you go any stadium in the United States, you walk into it and there's you go to Yankee Stadium, they have all the history that's on display. There's open spaces that you can go. It's I feel like Old Trafford's begging for something like this. We're spoiled with stadiums here in the United States. The footprint is there. This guy's worried about building into the parking lot. I mean, that's they'll do that easily. The pitch is technically not on the ground anymore, so that you can move it. It's still on the same.
No, I'd pick the
it's
same
not
location.
The grass. It's not like the ground is it's elevated, so the pitch actually can move.
I'd make a bigger stadium.
So it's not the same ground. It's on the same ground. So if you moved it 20 feet to the left or right, it's not going to matter. At the end of the day, I think you got to rebuild the whole thing. You make it look like it does today, like you said, like New Yankee Stadium. Some people hate New Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
But old Yankee Stadium sucked too. And,
It did.
But there's so much about this club and the history behind it, and it's just not on display in a modern way that it would just look amazing if they did it right. And obviously, $2 billion sounds like a number where you could do it right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it feels. I mean, if you boil it down to brass tacks, it's an encapsulation of what the Glazers have done over the last 20 years. It's you still got the history of the club, but it's been kind of done cheaply. The roof was leaking, right? They got the heat after the fucking Super League, and then they just gave it a paint job instead of actually fixing anything. So it's all been kind of plasticed over as a workaround to do it on the cheap and basically punt till the next owner. So whoever comes in, hopefully they got deep pocketbooks because it's going to take quite a bit between the squad, the front office, the stadium, and Carrington. That's a lot of money, sir.
And we haven't been to the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I mean, that would probably be the benchmark. I've heard good things.
That's who did the quote. That's who did the quote for the $1 to $2 billion was the same people that built Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, whatever it's called.
Yes, or maybe you get an NFL game at Old Trafford. I mean, they're probably going to be. The new owners could be angling for stuff like that as well. So I'd love to see that. That'd be really cool. The NFL game and not like I would go and watch that, but
watch it on TV.
Interesting stuff, nonetheless. Speaking of kind of NFL and everything else going on, Apple TV set to enter bidding war for Premier League, while Qatar Sports Investments are unlikely to buy Tottenham with Spurs chairman Daniel Levy. Apple TV entering the bid. This is probably from the UK or the US. I actually don't know the details here, but they did lose out to YouTube for the NFL rights. And so I think you're starting to see the big streaming names come into sports in a big way. As far as, I thought NBC re-upped in the States, so this might be in the UK, but interesting stuff.
We'll dig into it later. I feel like NBC Sports is finally getting their game up. With Drury, that was a huge upgrade. Just losing Arlo White. Massive addition to your day-to-day. But this is an interesting to watch. Like you said, they lost the previous bid, big money, and it's only get bigger if there's a resurgent Manchester United because, let the haters hate, but that's what everybody wants to see. The Reds flying high again. I'm looking forward what this team is capable of, especially with new investment. We got the manager. There's a lot of good pieces of the puzzle. But you imagine like a competent front office and an owner with some money, like we could really go places.
Yeah, it looks like they're considering bidding in the UK, which would basically unseat Sky and BT Sport, the traditional like pay for cable packages. The bid comes up in 2025, but this is kind of the world we're living in. And how long until Manchester United, you're just paying them directly for the rights to stream every Manchester United game? And this is where the Super League and all these conversations come into play, where the clubs want to do that, charge us the money, make the money, or do it via the TV rights. So I think there's a ton of different ways this can go in the future, but you're starting to see these streaming names disrupt big sports like DirecTV. Their business doesn't exist without the NFL. Right. The NFL just left them. DirecTV's dead. Sorry if you have DirecTV, but their business literally doesn't make money if they don't have the Sunday ticket. And I feel like these old school like BT, Sky, big pay cables, they're just going to start crumbling down, and it's all going to go the streaming route, which is good as fans because paying cable providers like insane amounts of money to watch these games. When you go to the UK, it's like you got to go to the pub to watch them because it costs so much money on Sky to get access to these channels, which is just absolutely insane.
No, and it's a very good point. And at the end of the day, it's like you can't compete. Like even Sky can't compete against Apple or Amazon in terms of how deep their pocketbooks go. And you know what? I think they'll do a good job with it. I think Sky is very solid. We love to watch what we can here in the States around their coverage, but bringing new ideas to the table, an Apple, how would they do with a sports presentation around EPL? I think they do probably a pretty good job.
Jumping into the fan questions, we have like tons of memes and posts. We got Sir Alex Ferguson lifting the title in 12-13, saying, "Am I getting it carried away over here?" From @UBosun. All the Muppets thinking title. @BryGuy666, we're back, baby. I'm going full Muppet. Arsenal, it's yours to lose with Eric Ten Hag, chain, do-rag, sunglasses, and a cig.
And a butt.
@Austin FFL, bald God is greater than a bald fraud, sir. You always say the bald fraud. @Mike United Mets, Ten Hag, what a man. Wear whatever turtleneck you want as long as you get this woo-woo train headed towards 21. Get in.
Get in.
@IC1, what a ballsy call by Ten Hag with the impossible meat pie at center back. Manchester is red. Do you think we can finish ahead of Shitty this year?
I think a solid third and a piece of silver elsewhere would be like way above what I expected going into this season, sir. We need the depth, man. Maybe we could finish second to City's first and Arsenal drop off because they're due for a reckoning as well. But either way, I think you finish third, piece of silverware, it's a great season. We're all going to get ahead of ourselves, but like you said, the squad is so fucking thin. You lose a player, critical player, we're in trouble. Whereas City just you lose one, onto the next one. They have so many players.
The Alex Davis 33, absolutely insane. Title race is on. I got 2 words. We're back. We're back. Are we back? I don't know if I don't know if I'm back yet. We just signed Wout. I don't know if we're back.
Hey, by hook or by crook, we were signing Oberton and Fergie was winning titles. So remember that. Like they sold Ronaldo and they signed Gabriel
I'm
Oberton.
I'm buzzing. This is a big win. Big win in a big spot. Big win at a critical time and what form we're in. But you all know it's not when you're riding high. It's when you get knocked down a peg or two and how fast we can bounce back. The real question is semifinals EFL, easy draw in the FA. We got to win a trophy. So the question is how many trophies are we winning this year? I'm going to say league title aside. FA Cup, EFL, Europa League. We could win too. This could be a Mourinho type.
Yeah.
If we don't win anything, I would say at this point, so if we're not in top 4 and we do not win a trophy, it is a disappointment as we sit right now. Totally. So the question is, we need top 4 and we need a trophy this year. And that's what we're talking about after this disaster of a season last year.
And that's crazy. Not what you would have said at the beginning of the season. We certainly didn't say it. But now, given where we're at, and the level of play and the consistency and the characters that have come out and the manager's ability to manage a game and manage the squad to a certain extent, you would definitely say it would be a disappointment to not have a silverware and top 4. I think that's attainable and achievable, and I'm more confident today than I was even a day ago.
So I'm not like a
But that's
title
target.
guy yet,
No,
but I'm
title's too
definitely
far, bro.
a
It's so hard to win.
like a trophy and top 4 guy. Like that's where I'm at right
I'd
now.
love top 3.
With we gotta, I would say, I'm gonna say the technical term is we gotta shout at the title.
Yeah.
Shout.
Spurs, not Spurs. Liverpool losing, bro. Just getting beat up by Brighton. You love to see it.
At mhersey5, quote, what a great match to be at. I'll love the never die attitude from United. City scored and our fans got louder. You could feel it. It was going to be our day. 3 points, 3rd place. Let's keep it going. Hashtag Glazers out. Shout out to M. Hersey going to the game. His own season tickets. What a fan. What a American Red Devil. And what a game to go to, sir. It's not like he went to that 5-0 drubbing like you went to.
5-0. That was wicked. That what a. I mean,
It was
that was
like-
like.
Oh, see
That was like
all
what,
right.
15 months ago. It's like how much
all
has
right,
changed
we good
since
here?
then?
We good here? Like, you know,
Yeah,
full all the way here? 5-0. I'll never forget watching that game knowing you were at it. That was
I'll tell you what, Bishop's Blaze was fun. Think about United
I was
fans.
like, I was like bummed I wasn't going with you, and then I was like, because it was
game was over
my
in, like, the
son's
10th minute.
birthday that happened to be that day, and I was watching the game. I was like, I was like,
back to bed. Back to bed.
I was like, Alex, how'd it go? How you doing out there?
Great. I tell you what,
How we feeling up there?
Manchester knows how to throw a party. That's the best part. It was the first time in our season tickets, which was great. And at the same time, the Blaze was ripping with my brother. And the game didn't go our way. But look at us now, sir. We're high-flying Reds. We're back to it. In for a shout, as you said. A shout. Wow.
At Brian Casey _ that offsides rule will be changed after that. It's good to comment on it. Rashford affected the play, and probably shouldn't have been a goal. But that's a very rare situation you see where it's that close. Glad Bruno got to it. Glad he got the shot. That's the whole game. That's how we turn it around right there. If you were on the other side of that, I mean, you would just be
you'd be
livid.
upset.
You'd be livid. There's no way around that.
We said it earlier. It's just like you would feel hard done if that was scored against you. But that's the breaks. It's not always fair. They're not called perfectly, these games. Sometimes you need luck on your side. Fortune favors the brave. Sir, 3 points. Hasn't even hit me. Can you fucking believe it? 2-1 victory over City. I'm still waking up. 4:10. Ain't easy waking up at 4 a.m.
KD me 324 quote, amazing game, great comeback. Usual suspects did fantastic, but can we talk about the shift that Malacia put in? I mean, great point here. We're not really calling out Malacia, but this young player we signed for cheap come in and doing a great job.
We only signed
In
him
a
because he's
huge
Dutch.
game.
We only signed him because he's Dutch.
We did only sign him because he's Dutch.
And he's coming up Dutch, sir.
Yeah, but there's only so many of those you get,
I know,
in the
I'm
deck,
aware,
right? There's only so many like the Dutch,
But he played really well today, up against De Bruyne at times, up against Cancelo, and he just played remarkably well. Allowed Shaw to
Walker,
shine.
he
He
was-
was center back. Walker, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Cancelo was all over the pitch today. But either way, he had a great performance. Everyone played well, because otherwise we were not going to win today, and that's what it took.
I'm gonna ask Alex this one. At Sunny SoCal Rob 25, if this victory was a meal, what meal would it be?
That's a great question. This victory's a meal. That's like
It's
such a hard
meal.
question.
It's like you go in
like a
somewhere you don't expect it to be good, and then it's like really like kind of like hole in the wall, like Indian place that just like hits.
just fire, like fire.
some
naan,
place
like
that
soft
you're
Chiloe
traveling
naan with
and-
a great curry. Yeah, exactly. It's
someplace
like,
you're traveling and you're kind of unsure, and then it turns out to be like a great meal because we walked into this game unsure, and it ended up like being amazing. So,
yeah, we're eating all weekend. Like dude. I hope you dogs are hungry because we're eating all weekend, and that's a great analogy, sir. Just place with a fire curry. Can't believe it. You're sweating out of your head. Get this guy a curry.
Get this guy a
I could
curry.
go for a curry right
Look,
now.
that's it. That's the podcast. If you like the America Red Devils, we are for fans, by fans. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Check out our store, americadevils.store. We got the 65th anniversary Munich air disaster scarf. It is an awesome scarf. I designed it with help from Alex. Please check it out. The anniversary is coming up in February. Also, check out our website, americadevils.com. Like, subscribe, retweet, whatever you can do for the pod. It's a small-time operation, so it really goes a long way for us, and we appreciate it. Sir, what are our top 10 downloads the last 7 days?
Number one, how you doing? Ottawa, Canada. Appreciate you. Diamond Bar, California. That sounds like a fun place. Sydney, Canada. Philadelphia, PA, Stephenville, Texas, Columbus, OH, Ohio, Belcamp, Maryland, Milford, Massachusetts, Canyon, Country, California, and last but not least, Phoenix, Arizona. We also got London on the board, Oslo, Dublin, Ramsgate. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We could not do it without you. Always darkest before the dawn. We were saying that a fucking year ago, and here we are, high-flying Reds. Dare I say, title race? Dare. Not yet, but getting closer.
There's only one way to end it. Kicking a blue.
Kicking a blue.